Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. Jake here. It is today. We're back with another episode of Outside of the West Ham Box. Manchester United versus Liverpool. Big game tomorrow. Super Sunday, as it always is. Manchester United v Liverpool. I'm joined by one representative from each club for the derby up north. But firstly, Rob, Man United fan, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you, Jake. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. And representing Liverpool in this derby, we've got Paul. Paul, how are you?
I'm all good. Nice to speak to you both.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So we'll get straight on in with it then, as I do with previews. Confidence. How are you feeling, Rob? To you first. Are you feeling confident for this game?
Yeah. There's no reason not to be confident. We're playing well. Everything's going quite well at the moment. On the pitch anyway. Depends really what Liverpool team turn up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big game tomorrow. Not only because it's the Liverpool game, but the dreaded title could be won tomorrow if the result goes against us. So I'm fairly confident. I think we'll be all right. I think we'll do well.
Yeah. Well, last time out for both sides was for Man United, the emphatic 6-2 win over Roma. Last time out was in the Premier League because Liverpool are fully focused on the Premier League now. Was a 1-1 draw against Leeds. Paul, how are you feeling going off the back of that result? Sorry, no, it wasn't. It was the Liverpool 1, Newcastle 1 game. I do apologise. How are you feeling going off the back of that and about the game?
Well, I thought before those games, I thought Liverpool would win both of those. Of course, you do. You're confident, even though with what's happened this season. I thought actually in both games, most of it they played pretty well, and then just threw it away, which is this season. Defensively, I mean, not saying they didn't. Leeds certainly deserved something out of the game in the end, and so did Newcastle. And Liverpool got exactly what they deserved. And oddly enough, even though all the issues, all the injuries are at the back, and all the problems in the midfield and defenders, becoming midfielders sort of going into in the centre of defence, it's the players up front who are not scoring. I mean, that's just the odd thing about it. We keep hearing about the defence, but the goals are not going in up front. It's the same players. Firmino, Mane, and Salah are playing, and Jota's. I keep going back to that Crystal Palace game when they went in 7-0, and they were unbelievable. And everything they hit went in. And I think the stat came after the Newcastle game that they actually had more chances against Newcastle than they did against Crystal Palace. And you draw 1-1, and those games, and I heard Klopp on an interview, those games, Liverpool last season and the season before would have went 1-0 up, like they did. They would have went 2-0 up and then just completely controlled the game. They would have might not have created too much else, but nor would have the opposition, and they would have seen it out quite comfortably. But that's not happening at the moment. I don't know what. Well, obviously it's just not say a mishmash, but you've got issues at the back. You've got midfielders playing in defence. Robertson and Trent are not able to support that, to perhaps do as much down the flanks as they were. But and even Nat Phillips is out now he's been out for a few weeks as well. So Liverpool would have 5th and 6th choice defenders for away to Man United. When people say that, does that really matter? I say, well, can you quickly name your team's 5th and 6th choice central defenders and see how you cope? Because most fans would say, well, I wouldn't even know who they are. That's the state they're in at the moment. But tomorrow, I don't know, Liverpool Man United could be anything. Probably boring 0-0. It normally is.
Yeah. We sit here and do a half an hour preview building up to a massive game, and I think this we've done this 2 times, and the first one was a boring 0-0, and but we'll go on to some predicted lineups then. So I've just whacked this from somewhere, so I'm just gonna tick off that banner for just a second. So some predicted lineups. We'll start at the top with Man United's one, with Henderson in goal, with a back 4 of Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. 2 in the midfield of McTominay and Fred. 3 behind supporting Cavani of Rashford, Fernandes, Pogba and Cavani. Firstly, Rob, I'll come to you. Would you be happy with that team sheet coming out tomorrow?
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. The only change I would make, and probably will happen, would be Cavani. I'm not sure he's got 2 games within 3 days or whatever it is in him anymore. Although he's had a fantastic season, and I think he's got 5 in his last 5 games. So he's
I think
on
it's 6 in
fire.
his last 5. I think he is on
Is it?
fire.
Yeah,
I'll
and
have a look, yeah.
he's getting plenty of assists as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he starts. If he gets rested, I wouldn't either. We've got Greenwood to come in. I think Martial's still injured. But yeah, no, that lineup looks pretty good. Yeah, I'd take that all day long.
Yeah. And Paul, in terms of Liverpool, then, so they've gone for Alisson in goal, back for Kabak, Fabinho, Alexander-Arnold, and Robertson. 3, or I suppose that's a I don't know what that is. Thiago, Wijnaldum, Milner, Salah, and Mane, and then Jota going down the middle. Again, would you be confident seeing that coming up tomorrow?
Well, I think that's as good as it's going to be. Really, I don't think Jones will play. I think because Nat Phillips is not going to make it, so Fabinho then goes back into defence. Obviously, Henderson's a while away from playing, so I think Milner and Wijnaldum will be the holding. Hopefully, so I'd like to see Thiago further up the pitch, maybe supporting the front three. I would sooner go with Jota, but I think he'll probably play Firmino. I think he will. And to be honest, is there, because they're restricted, I don't think there's much else. I mean, Oxlade, Chamberlain, Keita, they're not going to start. I'm sure of it. But yeah, oddly enough, and I always seem to mention betting on it, and it's with a young lad hosting the show. But for some reason, Liverpool have gone favourites for this football match, which I can't quite make out. Is there something happened? Is there an injury at United, or something's changing? Yeah, and Liverpool are now favourites to win that match. I mean, only slight, but when you think of how Liverpool have been playing, I know that they won 3 on the trot and they've had a couple of draws, but it's at United. But then again, does that matter with with the no crowds? United are flying, of course. A good win, fantastic win in the week. So,
Yeah.
or are they thinking that realistically United are not going to win the league? Is he going to go? It's Ole. I mean, he knows what Man United versus Liverpool means this season is a bit different, so surely he's not going to play it light. But I'm surprised Liverpool are favourites for this football match. I am. I can't quite believe that. Yeah, so only slight, but he might rest some. I mean, because then again, the Roma game is done, isn't it? But then again, you assume it is done. Would you rest? I mean, not in the FA Cup, but would you rest anyone for this game, Rob?
I don't think there's a reason to rest anybody.
No, I don't.
Apart from Cavani, like I already said.
Yeah, if the game was say 1-1 the other evening or 2-2 or whatever, would you expect them to rest players then?
Possibly, yeah, because obviously the second leg would be much bigger. But there's no. I mean, we've got a 4-goal cushion going away to Roma on Thursday night, so there's no. I mean, that's not an excuse. I don't see why you would rest anybody apart from Cavani.
No.
And that's just an age thing, and his legs aren't quite up to it anymore, maybe. But no, I don't get. I've just been trying to have a quick sneak look on the app, and I can't see any reason. There's no major injuries popped up. So what's changed there?
Is it because, or is it because it's going to be an open game? Because realistically, Liverpool have got to win the game. I mean, they've really kick themselves in the foot, whatever, with the 2 results. When they had the game, they had the games not won. Of course, 1-0 certainly not won. 2-0 certainly not won. But you have major chances to put those games to bed. So are they thinking that it's going to be an open game? But then again, an open game, that's not going to favour Liverpool any more than Man United. Or is it just how good Liverpool were last season? If it does slot into place, if it does work, if it does happen, and Mane and Salah start, I mean, Salah I still think a lot of Liverpool fans don't appreciate Salah, how good he is, because he scores goals. Even in the FA Cup, the 3-2, he scored both of those, didn't he, at Old Trafford? Without him, he's still playing well, isn't he? But the others, I wouldn't have Liverpool favourites for this game. Not saying I don't think they'll get something out of the game, but these games, I think last time we spoke about the preview Liverpool Man United in the 80s, when Liverpool was probably the best team in Europe, and United were winning an FA Cup, and I think they won a Cup Winners' Cup, but weren't really that competitive. Liverpool played United 20 times in the league, obviously 10 seasons. Liverpool best in Europe, United. And Liverpool won twice. They won 1 at Old Trafford and 1 at Anfield in 20 games. when they were the best team in Europe. I mean, it's an astonishing fact. You know what I mean? They say it's a derby and it goes out the window. It does, doesn't it? It does. You know, even when last couple of years Liverpool haven't won at Old Trafford, you know, even though they've had these fantastic couple of seasons, you know, with the points at 97 and 96 points, whatever, 99 points, and they still don't win at Old Trafford, do they?
It's a funny one, isn't it? Just
It
shows
is.
the derby. Just shows the effect the derby has on the game, doesn't it? Yes.
It does. But then you look at the players. I mean, does it mean, you know, there's no Jamie Carragher, there's no Scholes, there's no Giggs, Neville, or Gerrard, or Fowler, or McManaman. You know, I mean, they're not there anymore. I mean, you've got a Trent. You know, he knows what you know what it's all about. But in it, I don't know. But as Richard Cox, as Rich says, Howard Webb, not the ref. Is that why the Liverpool odds have been slack?
Yeah, and he also asks, would Paul take a point to climb above West Ham?
No, points no good. Points no good. But it's no good tomorrow. I to be honest with you, I'd hate to say it, but I've been looking at where the Europa League final is next year, and I think we might be on holiday in Seville. Funny, and it's in Seville, and we might be on holiday near in the area then. So we might have to just grab a ticket and pop up for a Europa League final. But
we'll be there, not you. We'll be there, not you. Don't worry.
Well, we might both be there. We're in the European Conference nonsense, or whatever they call it now. Oh dear. How the mighty have fallen in a season. It's the weirdest season ever, isn't it?
I know, yeah. But we'll move on though. And I'm going to ask this question to you, Rob. Who do you fear when you when I put up this starting lineup in terms of the bottom half of it? Who do you fear when you look at that, Rob?
Well, like Paul was saying, if you're, I mean, Fabinho's not there, but Mane and Salah, if they start firing again like they did the last couple of seasons, they're both, you know, undefendable, really, aren't they? If they're on fire, Salah he's just a box of tricks, isn't he? Jota, I fear Jota as well, because when he signed, he kind of hit the ground running, didn't he? And then he had those injuries, so he was brilliant at Wolves, and I think he's been great at the beginning of the season for Liverpool. So Jota, I really want to keep an eye on him. And your Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's started to find a bit of form again lately, hasn't he? So we've got to be careful with him bombing up the wing and whipping those crosses in.
Yeah, because the fullbacks of the fullbacks they've not had the best of seasons. They haven't had the license, Paul, have they? They haven't had a fantastic season down the flanks. But as Rob said, Trent seems to be getting back to what he was last season.
Yeah. He scored a goal. Was it against Arsenal he scored recently?
Yeah, in a fantastic whip. The Aston Villa scored right at the end against Villa, didn't he, to grab the points? Always nice to grab the points the last few minutes, but not so very good when you chuck them away like they have against Leeds and Newcastle. But I think it was saying about the players who you fear that, like last season and the season before, I used to joke with all the Liverpool fans, and then they say, not have a bet. Let's just pick the man of the match, because it could have been Alisson, Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, or Henderson, Fabinho, Mane, Salah, Firmino, any of these man of the match. Because then I should say, like, if you're stood in the tunnel, like perhaps United were in the 90s, when you're great and you look over the shoulder, or you look to the left and you look and you see those players, and you think, Jesus, we're in for the run around today. And that's what Liverpool, they had all of these players all playing well. And it is odd. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like, does it come back from the it's not just the Van Dijk injury, it's the fact that it's, because they were done fine. I think he won the next 7 after Van Dijk got injured, but of course then Gomez and then Matip was injured. So then people say, it's only a few injuries, but it's all in the same area. You replace them with them, replace them with them, and all of a sudden your fullbacks are not attacked, and then you've got a midfielder going back. Henderson's now injured. And then we've got Fabinho, who's playing at centre. It's all a bit of a muddle, and you guarantee it, like any Liverpool fans, certain Jurgen Klopp must be thinking, let's just get this season over. They said, you're in a Europa League, finish the season, I'd take it now. I've had enough of it. It's been an absolute disaster. And I saw a picture on social media the other day, and there was Henderson, Gomez, and Van Dijk celebrating, and it was almost like was almost like a relation who passed away, and just think, oh, I'd love to be able to see them, see them again, you know. And you think it's only next season. They you know, they will be back, but it's like it's not like three Father Christmases. Oh, I wish we, you know, because it will be. It's, you know, when you think about players, like you might think, I don't know, Rob Agler, but you might think of like a Brian Robson or a Mark Hughes or a Cantona. You know, think, I just wish we had that back. Well, Liverpool have got those players injured. They've got them. And I saw Lineup said, can you imagine with all these, somebody put on, imagine with all these signings, how good Liverpool could be next season. And there's no new players. It's just the players back from injury.
When they do come back, they will be like new signings, won't they? You know?
I think they will be, and the main thing is the pace and the power at the back. They can play in a different way, but they will still play it anyway, and probably get caught on, you know, with one over the top or with Rashford or whatever. But with those players, with Gomez and Van Dijk, who are very, very quick, you know, that they can play a different. You've got those two at the back, and it, you know, with Fabinho isn't as quick, even though he's a great player. Fabinho and Kabak, who's been more and more impressive ever, but it's not going to be Gomez and Van Dijk. You play in a different way, don't you? The whole team is affected, because
that confidence at the back just seeps throughout the team, doesn't it? Once you've lost that confidence there, everybody's suddenly a little bit more wary of what's going on behind them.
And if they had Matip and Gomez, you know, no Van Dijk, forget, you know, keep saying that name, but if you had Matip, I'd be a lot more confident. But of course, he haven't even got those players, and then even Phillips has played, like I said earlier, and now he's not playing. I'd be like, oh, God's sake, you know what I mean? Just let it end. It's just ridiculous. But that's life. That's what, and not the only team who's ever had injuries.
These guys that are coming in now, your fifth and sixth choice centre backs, this is invaluable experience for them for further down the line, isn't it? So
it is. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to keep. I mean, they're talking about, you know, the new signings coming in then, but they can't keep him all and keep Cabot. I mean, I think he's done. He's only young. Whether they end up because Nat Phillips, you think he deserves a chance next season, but if they're all fit, he's not really. He's not going to be playing, is he? But the main thing is if Fabinho gets back into midfield and if Henderson won't have to step back there. But and there's going to be shake-up because up front, like Jamie Carragher said, that something's got to happen. Things have got to change a little bit now because it's not clicking. And they've been together for a while. I think, is it Firmino would be the first? I've got a feeling Firmino might not be a guaranteed starter next season. I don't think he will be, perhaps.
What was all that between Klopp and Mane? Did they have a bit of a falling out?
Yeah, I mean, there's always sort of rumours, isn't there, in Mane and Salah and in things. I don't read too much into it. But, I mean, if they're going to sell any players, I mean, they played at 29, 28, 29. You're not going to get a lot from in a couple of years' time. But then again, you think, oh, Mane's not playing. Oh, who do you replace Mane with if you got rid of him? I know he hasn't had a good season. Then these players are not out there. It's not like, you know, just go and buy, go buy a replacement, because everyone's after those replacements. And who's better than? It's in about these changing this front three. Who's better than what they've got? I mean. It's you're not going to be finding them for 6 million, are you?
No.
No,
I'm going to ask you this, Rob. I'm going to watch this. Coming slightly back to the game, then. How do you think this game's going to pan out? Because I mean, Man United having a pretty decent season. There could be a trophy on the way with this, with the Europa League final you're going to be in. In terms of Liverpool, not a fantastic season, but how do you think the game will pan out? Who's going to have control, in your opinion?
Well, before the last game, I think you asked for score predictions, and I said 2-2, 3-2, whatever it was, goal fest, and it turned out
0-0.
completely the opposite. It was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I can't see that it's going to be any different. We obviously do not want to lose, because of the repercussions with City winning the title and obviously losing Liverpool, that would just be horrendous. So I think it's going to be quite cagey again. I think it's going to be a lot of midfield. I don't think a lot's going to be going on, to be honest. As much as I want to say, oh yeah, it's going to be a 3-2 goal fest, or we're going to bash them 4-0, or whatever it is, I just can't see it happening.
I do agree.
Yeah, I'm looking at games like when Liverpool play Arsenal. So I'm not just saying this about Man United because you're going to have the same things when United play other teams. But when Liverpool play Newcastle, there's generally one or the other. There's 4-3s, there's 2-4-3s, there's 4-0s, there's 4-1.
Yeah.
Arsenal as well, exactly the same. When you play Man United, go back through the results in the league. It's 1-0, 0-0, 1-1. Only 3-1 at Anfield a couple of years ago. But they're just dire games. And,
not what they used to be.
Yeah, they just seem. Perhaps it's just a coincidence, but say, is there? You said about losing the league. Well, losing the league. Well, it's
we're not losing.
No, it is. I don't know. It perhaps needs an early goal, doesn't it? And there's going to be goals.
Yeah. You pinch a goal early on, and then you're going to go for it because obviously you've still got things to fight for.
Yeah,
and things. So. Yeah, if we can get an early goal, and if you guys get an early goal, we're definitely going to come out at you. So, yeah, there you go. Like Richard just said, we need an early goal. But the longer it goes on, I think the more dire it's going to get, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Jake, you obviously want a United win, I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I did a kind of a, not on the channel, but I did a little bit of a watch along last night of the Leicester versus Southampton game. And obviously from our perspective, we wanted Southampton to get something out of that, and they did. In the end, they were leading in that, but that was quite a decent result. It would have been better if Southampton would have held on, but they didn't. But from a West Ham perspective, I mean, Liverpool are hot on our heels, that's for sure. Man United can definitely do us a favour. I'm just going to try and get up because I know you're not too far behind us, which is quite worrying. There is 5 games to go, Paul. It's all bunching together. So Chelsea, so Leicester. Let's just go. So Man United are on 67 points. Leicester have played a game more on 63. I think they've consolidated third now. Chelsea have got 58 points in third. West Ham 55 and Liverpool 54. So I mean, I'll say that now. I'm hoping that West Ham can get 3 points against Burnley, and I'm on this side today. I'm on the Man United side because then we drop down. By the time we play, we could be down to 6th or 7th, and we haven't been there since like January. I mean, crikey, 6th or 7th. We've never seen anything like it.
You'd have taken that, wouldn't you? But having been where you are for the last few weeks or however long it is, it would be a massive disappointment, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
To be honest, some fans will say it would be a massive disappointment. I mean, it's still, I think fans will be disappointed if we don't get Europe now.
Yeah.
But even if we don't, it's not going to be put down as a bad season. It's been a sensational season. It's been our best season probably since 85-86. Yeah. And I mean, there's still Moyes bashers out there, and just let them be. But
you'll get Europe, won't you? Because the teams winning. Leicester and Chelsea in the FA Cup final, so there's going to be another place available from that for the Europa when they give it to another. But I mean, the way this season, it would surprise me if Liverpool end up winning the league because the teams above them will get done for financial fair play. Nothing would surprise me. I mean, it's just the weirdest.
I'm still hoping for points deduction for the European Super League, and then we might win the league. It'll be Leicester first, West Ham second.
You'll be right there. Looking at the league, I mean, Leicester and Chelsea have got some horrendous games to come, but they might just be too far ahead. I said a couple of weeks ago about that run Chelsea's on with the second leg against Madrid, and then FA Cup final, and they got Leicester. I think they've got Man City. It's horrendous. But what Man City turn up? The thing is with Man City, a bit like United, they got no injuries. I know you got Martial injured and Phil Jones doesn't perhaps count, but we've got Man City have got no injuries whatsoever. So that even when they play their sort of second string or whatever in those games, it's still going to be a strong side, isn't it? Because I think teams, that when they're playing the likes of Chelsea, we need them to. Mind you, it might be gone if Liverpool get beat or draw. I think that is gone, and it's just to see which of these second-rate UEFA competitions Liverpool end up in. But if they do end up in whatever they end up in, that's the only team you can blame. Is they've had a bit of unluck with a defender being injured, but they threw away 4 points in the last week. So whatever, it's how it is, and they do what they got. Just
before we go on to predictions, we've got a visit from the man the myth, the legend wants to come on for a chat.
Oh, is he still about? Is he
He's
still
still
hanging his head in
about.
shame? Has he played since that? Did he? No, he did play against Chelsea. Was it a 1-game suspension? It was 2 yellows, wasn't it?
Oh crikey! Paul's just been taken out there, completely out of the stream. Oh no, he's back. Oh no, Craig has just wiped him out completely. But he's gonna say, "I'll be back for the Burnley game." Craig Dawson will be back for the Burnley game. And I still believe there'll be Mbappe versus Dawson in the Champions League 2021-22 Champions League final.
Yeah, very, very true.
Don't say anything to that. There he is, Craig Dawson exclusive.
Yeah. When you said he wiped me out, is that like the same wiping out he done to that Newcastle player a couple of weeks ago?
Exactly.
I've got the wipeout button now. I've got the wipeout button now. Yeah.
I didn't want to get dropped either.
No. So it was a 1-game suspension, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. He'll be back.
So
he'll be back. And in my opinion, he should start against Burnley. Because
when do you play Burnley?
Monday night, so we could be 6th or 7th. 8:15 Monday night.
Is that at home or are you away?
Away. Up at Burnley.
No, I got the wires crossed then. They beat Wolves away, didn't they? I thought it was the other way around. But you'll be right up there.
Hopefully, yeah. Right, just before we wrap up this show, we're going to do the elusive predictions. Now, I've got a little predictions mini clip that I play for the West Ham previews, but I don't care. I'm going to play it anyway. Get your predictions in the live chat. It might be West Ham. I don't care. This is a West Ham channel. Right. Here we go. Big Craig shut him down. Peach, I sent you a message on Instagram. Have a look if you want to come on. Big Craig didn't shut him down. That's for sure, Peach. Right. So, predictions. I've got a feeling from what Rob has said so far, there isn't going to be a 3-2, 2-2 prediction today. Rob, over to you.
I'm still going to go a little bit optimistic. I'm going to go for a 2-1 for us. I think it's going to be 1-1 for a long time, and then maybe a bit of Fergie time. Bruno Fernandes gets a penalty, 98th minute maybe.
To be fair, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if that means Liverpool get no points out of it. But I mean, that would slightly annoy me. But Paul, over to your prediction.
Well, the way the season's going, I think Salah will make an assist for Rashford because he'll slam a penalty against the crossbar, go over everyone, and set Rashford off for a breakaway and score. Because that's the way the season's going. But now, I'm going to give 2 predictions: 2-1 to Liverpool and 0-0 because it's always 0-0. So it's 2-1 to Liverpool or a boring 0-0. I'm not convinced Liverpool are going to win this game because of how the season's gone, but I've got to go for Liverpool 2-1, and also let's put the 0-0 in as well because of course it's just how things
I'll have the 0-0 as well.
Yeah, very good choice.
0-0 me Paddy Power account. I know that.
I mean, VAR must be dreading it tomorrow. Who are they going to favour? Who are they going to give a penalty to? Who are they going to let dive? I
think the stats show that VAR this season has been evil for Liverpool. Then again, but anyway, we're not going to go into that. They haven't been good enough, so I can't complain. We would have won the league if it wasn't. I'm not saying that, but it's going to be. There'll be something. There'll be VAR will be involved.
Yeah, there'll be something to talk about, won't there? There always is.
Yeah. There always is, that's for sure. But anyway, thank you very much for Rob and for Paul for joining me on this preview. Thank you for the comments that came in. Thank you to Peach for dropping in the comments. There we go. Manchester United versus Liverpool. That is the game previewed. Just as I wrap things up. Is he going to connect? Is he here? It's not connecting, is he? Smack the like on the video. Subscribe if you're new around here. And he's gone again. Right, it'll be back on in a minute. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do. Check out Canning Town Lane using the link in the description, and Peach will be here in just a moment. I've gave it away now. Canning Town Len is your best place to buy custom portraits that you can buy on the internet. Canning Town Len does animated portraits like this one he did for me up here. They're absolutely fantastic and I couldn't recommend them enough. So just some ones that he did for me. I've got this one here outside the London Stadium. I mean, it looks just like me, really, the best possible kind of animated portrait, kind of animated cartoon kind of picture I could hope for, really. They're absolutely amazing, and they are so realistic, look exactly like me, and they are very good to buy. So make sure you do click the link in the description down below to buy a portrait from Canning Town Len. I'd highly recommend them. Click the link in the description down below. He does animated portraits, non-West Ham related, West Ham related, lots of different backgrounds, any shirt, any background. You can basically customize it to your absolute kind of needs and what you exactly want. So click the link in the description down below to check out Canning Town Len. Come on, your irons. We've got an update. He's still not here. He's still not made his way back. So what I'm going to do, what's coming up? So we're going to have a preview. West Ham versus Burnley preview will be tomorrow. A time hasn't been confirmed, but hopefully a Burnley fan coming on as well. And we've got the quiz, the showdown, Champions League final quiz will be on Bank Holiday Monday at 5 o'clock. Before the game, there will be that. So it's Johnny Walsh versus James Fever versus Gatesy to see who's the Champions League winner. I mean, Liverpool won't be getting into Champions League this season. So that's the closest that Paul's going to get to winning Champions League this season. So we will have the Burnley versus West Ham preview and the Champions League final quiz. As you know, Paul, you're not going to get any Champions League now.
Well, all I'm going to say is tomorrow, whatever happens with the football, hopefully that goes well, and hopefully we find out H is on line of duty, and that's a big Super Sunday. It's a big Super Sunday this tomorrow. So football and H, and if we don't find out that, and if Liverpool get floored, then that is it. You never see me again.
Right. Yeah. Any last words, Rob?
No, just nice to catch up with you all. Let's hope we have a good game tomorrow. Let's hope United get the 3 points. There's a big march apparently outside the ground as well before kickoff. So, whether that'll have an effect on the players or not, I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully it all goes off peacefully. But yeah, come on, United.
And Paul, just before we go,
I just hope they perform like they can in the front three, fire, and Quebec have a really good game, because I know in the FA Cup when they played there, it was an absolute at the back it was a bit of a mess. So a bit more stability with Fabinho back there, and up front, see what happens. And like Rob said, a decent game of football.
Yeah, and Kent says for me, Gates is going to be the winner in the Champions League, in the Champions League final on Monday. We will see. You'll have to tune in 5 p.m. on Bank Holiday Monday to see who will win the quiz. But thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to. We haven't managed to get Peach on, some dodgy connection over in Toronto, but he will be back with his Peach Reacts review after the Burnley game. Probably Tuesday evening at some point. So check that. So make sure you click the bell notification so you're notified every time I go live. It tells you every time 30 minutes before I go live, when I go live, when I upload a video, and it's all good. Thank you very much to Rob and Paul for joining me today. I'm gonna go. Come on, you guys, and goodbye. Thank you very much for watching.
Cheers all. See you later.